This was drawn in 2023, and this is how I draw now. So, what happened? Well, in this video, I will teach you how to draw hair more realistically and show you how I render my hair so you can do it too. Thanks to our Patreon supporters for making this video possible. It all started from understanding key fundamentals such as structural understanding, or the boring anatomy stuff. Alright, let me start by saying everything is a shape. From single line to your arm, porcupines, all forms can be understood by simple geometric shapes. Hence, there is no need to draw everything as an individual line, instead, breaks things into shape like a 3D artist. If you look closely or observe its overall shape, the hair flow always follows a specific direction like a water stream and creates a structural shape from front, side to back, based on different hairstyles. From that, you would notice that hair comes from a single point or line on the head. Paying attention to where the hair grows out will make it more believable and also help guide us in drawing where the hair should start and end. Next, understanding volume and light. Understanding the layering of hair and its volume is pretty important, so is lighting. Let's start with a base color and block out the general shape and volume of the hair. This is only the beginning, so keep it simple. Don't worry about the details yet. Next, we will determine where the light source is and shade each big strand of the hair to create structure. Remember, we're working with masses of hair, not individual strands at this stage. Next, we will start the process of detailed shading. You might think that shading is just making areas darker and that's it, but there's much more than that. Here comes the principle of shading. Shading often consists of highlights, midtones, core shadows, reflected lights, and cast shadows. You can see how I've used this technique in my drawing to create more believable hair. This shading principle applies to everything: skin, clothes, metals, water, literally everything. I suggest practicing the shading technique on a sphere first if you've never tried it, and later progress to more difficult shapes like organic forms or complex objects to get used to the principles. Or skip all that part and paint your hair, I guess. I'm in no position to tell you what to do. Well, that being said, I will show you how I use these techniques to paint my hair step by step. First, I start from a composition sketch. At this stage, I don't really care about how accurate it looks or what the details will be, but more about focusing on the flow of the composition, such as how the hair flows and the head direction. Next, I will start making a detailed sketch of the head, leaving them bald initially. I made sure to add the hairline so later I could have a guideline to know where the bangs should start and also determine how big the forehead should be. Pro tip: create a new layer when drawing the actual hair. This way, if you were to make any mistake, it'll only be erasing the hair layer and not the whole head. Yeah! To draw the actual hair, I try to imagine them as ribbons, drawing them folding and twisting. And you can see from all the heads here, I follow this tactic no matter what hairstyle it is. Remember to keep in mind as well that hair grows out of the head, making it puffs outward before bending downward due to gravity. Oh, and I made sure to determine where the split point of the head is and drew the hair spreading out from it, making sure it drapes down naturally. You could imagine how a ribbon would drape down from a sphere. I then place down my flat colors and begin shading. Starting from determining where the light should be, I shade each hair section roughly while also adding reflected light to the hair. To know where the reflected light should be, it's basically always placed directly opposite of where the main light source is. However, depending on the surrounding surfaces, it can sometimes vary as well. Just trying to understand where the light will bounce back to the character based on the surroundings. After that, I adjusted the colors to give background information and begin rendering. Let's get one thing straight. Rendering hair isn't about painting individual strands. It's about creating the illusion of thousands of strands through strategic shading and smart brushwork. Based on that, by imagining them as 3D shapes, I start my rendering process by establishing 3 distinct layers of information. First, the deepest shadow where hair masses overlap and create the darkest recesses. Second, the middle tones that make up the bulk of the hair's volume. And third, the highlight areas where light directly hits the hair surfaces. I mostly use lasso tool to quickly summarize the main shadow or bright area based on the hair color to create more clarity. Next, I start to add variation of value to it little by little, such as reflective light, highlight, and subsurface scattering, mostly to make the highlight less sharp and has a nice transition to the shadows. Real hair isn't just one color. Even the darkest black hair has subtle color variations based on the environment. For this specific portrait, I add warmer tones in the lighter areas and cooler tones in the shadows. This creates depth and makes the hair feel more three-dimensional. And from the looks of it, you can probably tell the environment is a snowy sunset. Now for the highlight. There is multiple stuff to keep in mind. I'd say once you know your geometric shape, it is quite easy to know where to place them. For me, I follow the head contour, or I guess a sphere shape. Or when it is not on the head area, I still am able to associate the long hair as shape such as a cylinder, and based on that, I was able to place my highlights without any confusion or hesitation. For some lighting, light will pass through the hair, and for some, even around the edges. Hair isn't completely opaque, and showing this translucency, especially in backlit situation, adds realism. And in this situation, you can also use reflective lighting to your advantage to differentiate different layers of the hair so it doesn't look blend together. I also pay attention what the color of the highlight will be based on the surrounding environment. If the sky is blue, the highlight will be blue. When it's in a greenish cold room, then it will be that color, and so on and so forth. Now to recap and put things simply, the head is sphere shape, hair is ribbon shape. From the split point, the ribbon shape drapes down from the sphere shape. Highlights follow the sphere contour, and so do shadows. When those ribbon shapes stack together, it creates shadows and casts shadows, all as shapes that shape together. And after all that, I clean some jagged edges, and we are done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you find this helpful. This topic has been in the scripting stage for half a year. Oh god. Yeah, I keep redoing the script over and over, and I don't want to do this ever again. Anyways, recently I've been booking a lot more and meeting a bunch of you guys, and it's been very sweet to hear your support even after such a long time. You can follow my socials to be notified whenever I announce my next boothing, so maybe if we were at the same event, you can drop a hello before you go. But for those who have been asking for an online shop, I now finally have one after a bunch of testing and preparing the stores out. So for those who are interested in my merch, link will be in the description below. But yeah, if you are interested in the PNG, PSD, and speed paint of this artwork, be sure to go check out my Patreon, link is in the description. You can find this artwork on other platforms such as Instagram, X, TikTok, Thread, and more. All are linked in the description below as well. Comment down below what you want to see next that is not a tutorial, and maybe I'll try it out. Anyways, hope you have a great day, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye!